Hello everybody. I'm sure everybody out there has seen an ad or seen some video where somebody came across some awesome car. In this case, a 1969 GTO Judge for $2,500. So when I saw this in my email inbox, of course I got really excited, thinking a real 69 GTO Judge that close to me within an hour's drive. And all I had to do was to be the first one there to pick it up before 20 other people showed up. So of course I got the phone number and called the guy and arranged to go see the car. So as I'm driving there to look at the car, I'm got all of these things going through my mind about what the car is going to look like and how good of a deal I'll be able to get on it. So I'm envisioning something like this. Maybe GTO stuck in the weeds, a Judge with missing drivetrain with trees growing out of the hood, who knows. Maybe a little bit worse, maybe a little bit of extra surface rust, looking kind of shabby, kind of scary, weeds growing up all around it, but hey, it's a 69 GTO Judge, what can you do? Or, worst case scenario, could be something stuck down in the mud and the whole frame is gone. Or it could be just a wannabe, fake Judge with hideaway headlights. So I kept thinking about the ad and what it said, the 69 GTO Judge for $2,500. And I'm like, hey, either way, whatever it is, I can't go wrong by going to take a look at it, right? So, I'm cruising down the freeway trying to get there as quickly as I can to see what's there. And then lo and behold, as I make my way through the trees, I find my way to the car, and this is what greets me. After I almost passed out, I was looking at this car that had been run into a tree head on, looking really sad. As I work around the side of the car, I see that it's really not good for much more than just a beer holder. But hey, it's a 69 GTO Judge, right? So I continue to look. I notice there's not a piece of glass in the whole car. It's covered in pine needles. It's got dents everywhere, major dents. And the interior is completely full of pine needles. So that's never a good sign. Pine needles are like a sponge. The more of them you have in there, the more moisture they hold. And this is in East Texas and in the middle of a bunch of pine trees, so I guarantee, looking at this thing, that the bottom of this car is going to be toast. But I look at the odometer and it says 76,000 miles, so that's a good sign. But as I look at the rest of the interior, it's looking really rough. It does have a power antenna, but it has two switches, or is that a convertible top switch? But it's not a convertible, so that can't be. So back seat's full of pine needles. Let's look around some more. So the back quarter, toast. Sitting on the ground almost, toast. Looking around, the roof is gone. It's just a structure. The back quarter is in the trunk area or gone too. It's been beat up in 12 different directions. Hard to tell that it's a GTO other than the few key things that you can see on there. Passenger side, wow, that's the best looking part of the whole car. Maybe there is some hope for it, huh? It is a GTO Judge, by the way, huh? So let's look at the interior some more. Still full of pine needles. There are some extra grills on the floor in the front and the back seat, so that's kind of unusual. Wouldn't be bad to have some extra grills at least. But all of those pine needles and no roof, no body. Door panels are ate up, rusted out too. Fenders are all beat up in the front. Hood, of course, is an accordion. And what could it be? I mean, after swallowing the vomit that came up in my throat and trying to figure out why I'm even there, decided to, maybe I need to look around this car and let's just give it a chance and see. So, 69 GTO Judge, let's see. So far, I don't see anything that tells me it's a Judge. Looking at the engine, it's pretty stuffed in there. Hard to tell much of anything there. Definitely not a Ram Air. Look at the body tag. It does show to be a 242, 1969. So it is a GTO at least. But that doesn't tell me if it's a Judge or not. The VIN plate was also matching 242, so passenger side of the motor, just as bad. No AC compressor, doesn't really matter. Everything's junk anyway, right? Get a look at the block. It is a numbers matching block for the car, so wahoo, we got something good. It's got a numbers matching 10-bolt rear end, but it's a non-posi. Back to that beautiful body. What on earth possessed somebody to leave a car out in the woods like this? And basically, after talking to the owner, it was wrecked back in the middle 70s and left for dead out in the trees behind his parents' house. So that's where it sat. While it was there, I guess they had some pine trees cut, and the responsible employees of the timber company dropped trees all over the car as well, destroying what was left of the body, I guess, and leaving it in this beautiful state of patina. So all I could think about is this going through my head as I went home and slept through the night. So of course, what did I do? The next day I got a trailer, brought some wheels off from my El Camino and slapped them on there, made a deal for $400 for the car, and drug it back to my home and my shop. Just thinking that, hey, there's got to be some parts and stuff I can get out of this car that's going to be worth something, right? Even though it's not a GTO Judge. And I found that out for sure, even though I knew it already by looking at it, that the PHS documents showed to be a regular GTO, not a Judge. Yeah, I did spend the money to get the documents. Looking at the interior, the floors were gone, totally gone. Not much of anything, and it took hours to get all those pine needles and the seats out of it, and everything was rusted, everything was stuck together, or just fell out. One of the two. Starting off with that mess right there, it was a pretty sad state. This is the power antenna that it had mounted in the trunk, which I don't believe is the original. This is the Turbo 400 transmission, which is a numbers matching also. Here's the casting number on the block, and it was cast in 1968. Here's the original distributor off the block, but it was broke, so it's worthless. So I'm back to basically this rusty hull of a mess, and what can I do with it? So there have been some things that I've been able to sell off of it. I have been able to sell the seats, the center console. I'm using the steering column, which is a floor shift model. So so far I've made my money back on it. And so next time you see an ad like this, get this vision out of your head. Realistically, that's not what you're going to see. But hopefully you enjoyed the trip along with me and what I went through, and hopefully you won't duplicate that. Have a good one.